internet investigations. I am your psychedelic psychopomp, Chase Clarence Calloway, and in today's episode, we are addressing the fact that Mercury is Wednesday because Mercury is the interdimensional metaphysical Spider-Man that spins all the connections to hold these simulations together. Me as Chase Clarence Calloway, I'm describing to you my personal past lives, my whole thing, my whole existence has basically been creating structures that hold other structures together. So this is what Mercury is. This is what Mercury represents. So when you see Tehuti, Hermes, Quetzalcoatl, Idris, Ningishzida, Odin, Zarathustra, there's more, just all these messengers of Mercury, those are all me as Chase, one individual space communicating its individual ego into existence through a mind and a body that fits that atmosphere. So in this is where Hermes, Tehuti, and Odin, these are all three different minds. Tehuti, Hermes, and Odin, three different minds, three different bodies, one soul, one space, one spirit. The whole point of your internal world is that you are always who you are as an individual, as an indigenous individual who creates yourself from the inside out. So when you know that you are always this individual internally, this is where you know that externally, you're going to appear like many individuals depending on when you're born. But what I've done as Mercury is make sure that no matter what lifetime I'm experiencing in what universe, okay, because there's infinite universes, no matter what universe I decided to create a body in as Spider-Man, no matter what universe I've decided to use my soul to connect with as Spider-Man, I'm going to be able to correlate it to my past lives because I'm always building upon my simulation. And my simulation would be the space from which I am choosing to connect with this simulation. So most people in this world, they're lost in this simulation. They're scared. They're scared of going to hell. They don't know where heaven is. I know I'm in heaven before I'm born into hell. And this is really where fasting got me back to, okay? Because growing up in the American society, growing up how the government wanted me to grow up, I was disconnected from Mercury. That was the point. I can empathize with all the people who are lost here and scared of dying and don't know how space works because I chose to be disconnected from Mercury. By being disconnected from Mercury, I too could feel like I was lost in light. And now I can let myself be labeled Chase. And now I can be labeled nigger. Now I can be labeled black. Now I can be labeled Indian, right? And now I can be everything white people want me to be because these Jews desire to steal everything from Native Americans. This is objectively why they used Jesus to come into indigenous lands and justify genocide historically. And then they make money justifying genocide. These Jews make money spreading horrible slavery and horrible sex trafficking because their religion says that we are all created by their idea. So because they believe that we are all created by their idea, now they believe that they're justified in doing whatever they want to us and then lying about it because that's their idea of being God. So we got to protect ourselves as individuals in this world. There are Jews and Masons out here who literally specifically colonized all the Americas and turned it into a slavery country because they don't want us to be able to build our own things. If we knew how to build our own things, we would be happy alone. And if we're happy alone, we don't need a system that needs slaves. You see that? So if white people need slaves, they need to convince the people that they want to create into slaves, that they want to mold into slaves, that we need them. So this is again where I, as Woden, as Odin, as Tehuti, as Hermes, as Quetzalcoatl, as Idris, as Chase in general, as the space that built Mercury, as Metatron, as Enoch, as the space that built Mercury so that you can project however you want to perceive me onto this body right now. I know for a fact that I chose to be born into this world. And because I know that I chose to be born, that's my connection with God. So my connection with God is my consent. And this is what all these Europeans don't understand. And this is what I, as Mercury, am coming in here to communicate with everyone about. All these religions that want to say that I'm energy or tell me I'm light or that I'm their heavenly father, and now I can go interact with 100 religions that are all going to tell me that I'm a product of their projections. I, as an indigenous individual, know that I had to create the circumstance for someone to tell me that I'm not creative. And that's what this whole life has been. Me as Mercury, having Jews who are using a weekday's structure, a weekday's schedule to keep us in a weekdays, are weaponizing Mercury against me to teach me that I am not the one who built Mercury. So this is the ultimate hell that I'm in, that no one can see, because I am the one and only space that built Mercury. Therefore, every single lifetime that I have expressed through Mercury is me. And then that's Metatron. That's Metatron coming in many forms. So now you know that Hermes, Tehuti, Woden, Metatron, all the same space at different points in time. So this is why the Jews and the Masons, they have to steal everything from me. They have to steal everything from Mercury and then weaponize it to steal everything from you. And then this is why Mercury is the 4th day of the week. Because they know that the mind of Mercury built the earth that they're standing on. That's number 4. That's your body. Your body is earth. They know that Mercury, as the metaversal mind, built the earth that they're cannibalizing. So then this is where Marvel has their version of Mercury, which is Spider-Man. And now we can see how they want your Mercury to function. They want me to function. They want Mercury to function as someone who holds together a system, as someone who serves a system that does not serve him. So look at Spider-Man. That's what Masons want for Mercury. And that's what Masons want for your mind. They want you to serve a system that does not serve you. You see Spider-Man working for police that hate him. Spider-Man is literally working for police for free. The police get paid to take credit for the work that Spider-Man does. Just like white people get paid to take credit for the work that indigenous peoples that they call black do. That's literally, we're talking about the basic history of this country. So this is why Spider-Man, he's Quetzalcoatl. He was supposed to be indigenous right off the bat. Okay, so they made him white because the whole point is to whitewash everything. So all their superheroes, we know Superman, stolen from Zarathustra. All these Jews, they need to whitewash what they stole from indigenous peoples. So this is why they also whitewash Odin. They whitewash everything. Like, people at this point know that even Jesus would not have been white. If Jesus was a real man, he would not have been white. But Jews taught us to view him as white, worship him as white, and pay money to support him being projected into our space as white. Because that's the agenda. This is the New World Order agenda. And I don't support it. They're weaponizing my energy to make it work. That's the whole point of them naming Wednesday Woden's Day, naming Wednesday after Woden, basically weaponizing Mercury because it's about correlating the days to the planets. So it makes sense. But the fact that you don't know everything that I'm sharing with you right now shows you that Jews are weaponizing the truth to enslave you in lies. And then this is where they want you to care about all the lies, which would be you didn't choose to be born, and you need to slave away on their monetary banking system if you're going to be able to go to their heaven. But they stole all of this from me. They stole everything from me to even be able to teach you that you need to go to someone else's heaven. When I, as Hermes, as Odin, would tell you that you need to build your own heaven, because creating your own heaven is how you're going to actually be happy alone. If you're not happy alone, it doesn't matter where in the universe you go. You're not going to be happy with others. I promise. I can promise you that. If you're not happy alone, you're not going to be happy with others. So if you're in hell internally and you think there's a heaven outside of your hell, you're going to be sorely mistaken. This is how these white people, this is how Europeans, the Jews and the Masons, spread all their misery and built companies out of misery in America, objectively. I'm talking about objective history. Indigenous peoples, we've had to sacrifice so much of our lives for me to be objectively right in saying this, because somehow we had to just keep letting evil steal everything from us before people could acknowledge what evil looks like. And even then, people still have not fully acknowledged that America and Europe is what evil looks like incarnate. And they get to police the internet and police our language, because the point of me speaking English was so that they could police everything that I'm communicating about. I didn't choose to speak English. They forced me to through rape and genocide, through white supremacy. I didn't choose to speak English. My indigenous family did not choose to speak English. We agreed to let them take over this simulation because we expanded to other worlds. But now here I am, I'm back in this world, and it's super fucked up because of how Masons have conducted business, because of how Jews have used indigenous wisdom to make money for themselves. And so now that looks like them causing climate change. That looks like them creating technology that causes a bunch of health problems. That looks like them putting you through a school system that destroys your body and causes a bunch of health problems. Creating a medical system that, guess what? Oh, causes a bunch of health problems. So their business is causing problems because they can't make you feel like you need their religion or you need their bank or you need any of their systems that they stole from other people if they can't make you feel like you have problems that would not be solved without them. So now this is the time we're in now, where we're on social media constantly being advertised that we have to get shot up this way and that. I can't open my app. I can't open any social media app without being told that I need to get shot up and I need to be scared of the air and that everyone's dying and that we all have to band together and support the government and support how they inject us with the new thing, then a new thing, and then a new thing, and now it's never going to end. I fasted too much as Chase to be in that vibration. So it's my responsibility to do this video like this because I would much rather speak with myself and learn about who I am than get lost in people who don't know who they are tell me that I'm not who I am. And now I'm just wasting my life and I'm wasting time not creating videos and not creating structures and not creating content that you can learn from, that we can all build upon. See, so this is the Mercury mindset, difference of water and earth. So Woden cares way more about connecting with himself and building a platform that allows him to connect with others. And this is where Woden, his whole thing really is watching people fight themselves. And then that's where Woden and Tehuti very connected in that, because Tehuti is documenting how people fight themselves. And that's basically all history. That's all history. People fighting themselves, but then they do it together. So now, based on how people fight themselves internally, they bring the fight externally. And then, depending on the agendas and desires, it gets documented like this or like that. So it's important to have people on the outside who are not lost in the agendas and desires of that simulation and how chaotic that situation is, to be able to cleanly and clearly say what happened. Because if you leave it up to white people, leave it up to Jews, right, they're going to tell you that they didn't kill any Native Americans when they came to this land. They discovered it. And Jews are going to tell you that they discovered this land because their one God, the one God that created everything, wants them to eat whoever they want. And then this is where they're going to say that they deserve to enslave and rape and murder all the people that they use to make money on their religious systems. And this is why you need to uphold their weekday schedule. So it's messed up. All right. Just the full history of America and the history of why we are even speaking English and living by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like, it's all slavery. It's all about Masons wanting to enslave you, and they need to make money by manipulating spaces outside themselves because they don't believe in controlling themselves. That's why they need to use slavery to build their worlds. They're not their own masters. They're not in control of their own emotions. That's why they colonize so hard. That's why Europeans were obsessed with leaving the old world and going to consume the new world, because they're not in control of their emotions. They fucked up their old world. So now they need to run away from themselves and spread their problems to indigenous individuals like Quetzalcoatl, who are happy alone and thus harmonious in the way that we balance our elements. We're not causing climate change. We're not destroying the environment. We're not being unempathetic to each other. We're not spreading misery and building companies out of misery. But then Europeans come over into our land, we share everything with them, and then they teach us that we need to serve them because we're not actually the individuals that we were before they came into our world. It's so messed up here. This government is so beyond evil. And this is how the KKK functions, by killing kids with kindness. So these politicians, all of them just being in KKK energy, they have to kill everybody by acting like they care about you. I mean, this is how the Europeans killed all the indigenous individuals that were in North, South, and Central America and stole all this land. They acted like they cared about us so that they could rape us, backstab us, and tear up the treaty that they just agreed to. And then just keep doing that. And have us agree to another treaty. They're making us sign their legal shit just so they can tear up their own contract because they created their own version of Earth saying, hey, here's stability. We're going to stop raping you guys. We're going to stop stealing from you as long as you agree that we can have this amount of land. This is literally how Jews took everything from Native Americans. They agreed that they would stop raping everybody. They agreed that they would stop murdering all of our children and our families if we signed away our land. And then they did that over and 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 over. Now you have all of North, South, and Central America created by Jews who made up contracts and convinced us to trust them just so that they could tear up the contract and commit all the sins that they were telling us we're wrong for doing. Like they're using their religion to teach us that we're of sin when we fast way more than Jesus. Meanwhile, they're the ones who are going to lie, rape, murder, and steal to make America great, to manifest their destiny. So evil. It's so wild. It's so evil. So, Woden's Day, the etymology nerd. Okay? So I had to just share all that because this is the perspective of Mercury through Chase. This is the reason Chase is alive. This is the reason Chase is down here, to experience being a victim of a Jewish government that is telling him that he needs to be like what they believe he's being niggardly about. Because do understand, Jews call black people niggers because niggardly actually means to be stingy. So every time a Jew or a white person calls me a nigger, they're telling me I'm being stingy. So now I, as a spirit, have to observe, oh, what are they saying I'm being stingy with? What more could I give them when I, as the indigenous man, opened up my land to them? What more could I give them? That's where I would have to learn, oh shit, they want my soul. And even once they have my soul, they won't be happy because they're not happy with themselves. So they just want everything I have, and then they're going to justify raping me to make me keep producing more things that they can consume from me while saying that I'm not the creator of the energy that they're consuming. It's beyond evil. Like, this is so twisted. So this is why my mind's down here. I naturally have to learn about who I am and be able to cut up all of this very demonic and disgustingly genocidal witchcraft. It's all about justifying genocide. This is the whole English language and everything connected to it. That's everything we see in Marvel with Metatron. That's everything we see with Marvel in general and the Bible. It's just all Jews and Masons teaching you to justify genocide. Here's why not empathizing with individuals is okay. Because we're all actually created by one individual. And anyone who doesn't agree with that in your language is a demon that you need to support putting violence on. And this is again how white people were in anywhere close to the vibration to somehow claim that they're loving Christians while actively raping and enslaving indigenous peoples that they then label black, and lying to us about our whole history and working so hard to disconnect us from our spirituality. They work so hard to disconnect us because they need us. Otherwise, they should have put all that energy into colonizing the new world, into fixing their old world. See, indigenous peoples would not have taken over a new land that they came to. Indigenous peoples would be like, whoa, you guys have a cool land. We're going to go back to our land and be inspired. Maybe we'll do some cool stuff there. That's what you do as indigenous individuals. You visit a realm. You're like, whoa, I'm inspired by your realm. You have awesome stuff. I love what you've got going on. I'm going to go work on myself. And then I'm going to have a better world. And now you can visit. Europeans are like, we fucked up our world. We're horrible. We destroy everything. Whoa, you Native Americans, you have pyramids. You have gold. You have fruit. You have women with big booties. Oh, we're going to take everything. We're going to steal all of it and lie about it and teach you that you need to support how we rape you because you were all created by Yahweh. You are all created by Jesus. It's so evil. And this is how they're destroying the environment, causing climate change, and creating depression, and really spiritually stopping your entire growth. Everyone's growth is being hindered by these people who are using money to manipulate our minds, by this banking system that needs slaves to make its imagination matter. And it doesn't even have its own imagination. So it has to steal the imagination from the people that it wants to be slaves. So now this is where they worship Metatron as the voice of God, but they also want Metatron to be a slave of God because their God is Yahweh, the dude who justifies stealing anything from anyone else because you get to say that they're not an individual. Just a full-on liar. That's like full ego. That's just full projection ego energy. Like, imagine, like that's full projection ego energy. If I, as a European man, came into an indigenous world and I see that they built all these pyramids and they set up all these structures and they're teaching me about their gods, how much do I have to be in my ego to tell them that actually Yahweh created everything and that's why we're going to steal it? Because Yahweh said that we can steal what he created through them, and they don't have their own individuality anymore. And now we're going to use Jesus to justify doing all the evil things that we teach other people not to do. This is what America does. Like, they do the most evil things that they teach everyone else not to do. And this is how they feel like they have power. So when Christians are over here and Jews are over here saying, oh, you're not supposed to practice witchcraft, astrology is evil, astrology is bad, do you not understand that you celebrate your birthday? Like, Christians, they're so contradictory. These religions are so contradictory. These religions literally have to contradict themselves so hard to teach you not to practice astrology for yourself while they practice astrology on you. You would not know what time of the day it was. You would not know what day it is in general. You would not know what a holiday is if you did not have astrology. So this is why they have to weaponize Woden's Day against you. Objectively. And I have to be here talking like this, going through a circumstance where I'm in hell. I'm in the worst hell. Dealing with white supremacists constantly colonizing my land, my time, my space, and telling me that I am not the creator of myself, while they use my creations to spread genocide. It's so beyond evil. I see why I'm here. It's so frustrating because I can't make people see what I see. That's the whole thing with spirituality and perspective. You can't force someone to see your perspective. Each and every spirit has their own individual, unique perspective. Each and every one of us. So this is the point of us communicating. If I did not choose as Mercury to be born into this body as Chase Clarence Calloway and experience this wave, then no one would be able to actually see the perspective of Hermes, or Odin, or Tehuti, or Quetzalcoatl, or Idris, or Ningishzida, or any of my other past lives. No one would be able to see the perspective of Mercury overall. That's why there's infinite lives for Mercury. The point is, I've correlated it to one structure. I'm symmetry now. Okay, so fuck Mercury. Symmetry. All right, but the point is, it's balance. And nature is balance. And the way that white supremacists have been operating since they landed in the Americas and since we opened up our homes to them as indigenous peoples has been obviously anything but balance. They're in full ego mode. They're in full fire mode. They desire to project all of their separation into the world. So now this is where they, as individuals, tell us that we're not individuals because they desire to make us work for them. And that's just where all they can do to make us work for them is to tell us that we did not work for ourselves. And this is where we get slavery. Again, this is where we get this English language and how white supremacy has used English to teach all of us to be slaves to Masons. And this is where then they use English to teach us in all these different ways that we are light or that we are energy and not that we create energy, which is so beyond wrong. It's so evil. They're just so evil. But then the point is, now that you're rolling with me, you can have empathy for them because you're at a higher vibration than these evil people. This is why good spirits are at a higher vibration than evil spirits. You can have empathy for people who don't have empathy for you. This is what it means to be Native American. Okay? As an indigenous man, I can empathize with Christians being scared of hell. I get the emotional state that they have to be in, but they can't empathize with me being happy and peaceful alone and being my own God, because they're in full projection mode. They have to project onto me that I'm either created by their God or I'm a demon that they need to conquer, because that's how their religion has trained them to feel comfortable. So this is why all this energy is really Martian. Mars is the second day or the third day of the week, because Mars is supposed to control how everyone communicates. So now everyone's minds are communicating in a really aggressive manner. And this is how humans have been lost in supporting war, supporting making money by spreading war. It makes no sense from an empathetic standpoint to spread war and make money by spreading war. The only way you can make sense making money spreading war is if you're in your full ego and you desire to separate people from their spaces. That's not Odin. That's not Woden. Woden is not at all about separating people from their spaces. The whole point would be going to war on war in that case, and helping you connect with yourself so that you realize there's no point in going to war when you're already at peace. Look at that. If you're already at peace, if you're already whole as a space. Now take this, I'm taking this as Chase, okay? I am Odin, objectively, just straight up. But I understand that people need to relate with me based on the white supremacist government shit. So let me make what I'm saying for Odin make sense for Chase. Chase is space. So when you chase your own space as a body, that would actually be you becoming aware that you were a space before you became the body. That's everything we have in Chase Your Genes. Okay, that's everything in Symmetry. That's everything that I'm about in Always Ascending Academy. It's all about how you as a space had to create a mind out of your fulfillment before you can make a body that can share what your mind is thinking. Now, if your body traps your mind, right? If your mind gets lost in your body, this is where you may forget that you were fulfilled. And this is also where I've learned that I can't see what space people are coming from. I never fully know spiritually if someone is connecting because they want to take or because they want to give. And this is what we all have to figure out. Spiritually, when we're interacting with people, are these people speaking to us because they want to take or do they want to give? And this is where the Europeans, when they came into American lands, right, all they wanted to do was take. All they wanted to do from the indigenous peoples was take. That's all they wanted to do. But what they had to give, right? Smallpox blankets. I mean, that's the story, right? They had to give disease. They had to give us disease. They had to give us weapons. They had to give us their version of gifts, because that's how we could get into the subconscious vibration of letting them take all of our land, right? This is how all the land was stolen from Native Americans. All of it, everything was Europeans weaponizing the giving and taking. So again, to bring that to modern world, all right, we're on social media told that we need to get shot up by a medicine that we can't even talk about openly. I can't talk about the medicine, but these people can make money telling me that I'm too sick to not get it. But no matter how much I fast, I'm not healthy in their world. Again, projection being perception. You got to protect yourself from people who see you the way that they want to see you, because this is how people make slaves out of you. This is how people just turn you into demons when you can be the most godly motherfucker in all of existence. But if someone in their own God mode, in their own ego, desires to see you as a demon, they're going to. That's why so many people who interact with me, they can see me as a demon just because I'm speaking in a way that actually separates them from what they are comfortable in. So this is where they, being a demon, are comfortable in the body. But because the way I talk about fasting, for example, starts to separate people's minds from their body, they view their body and their desires more as God. So Because even though I'm the one who's actually spiritually vibrating at the resonance of God, and I'm the one separating them from their desires, they're the ones who are going to tell me that I'm demonic because I'm not supposed to be doing what they worship Jesus for doing. And then this is where I get Christians who tell me I'm not supposed to actually fast. We're just supposed to worship the sacrifice of the guy who fasted. That's been my life. It's so annoying. So again, I have to dissect all this witchcraft because this is witchcraft that I as Chase am cutting up. And the point of me as Chase being here is to talk to you about your space and how your space has to create something to interact with other spaces. So when people want to say that you are energy, those people are liars. Those people are completely lost in light, and they're projecting their religion onto you. You know that you have to create energy to relate with other forms of energy. That's why if someone has energy you don't vibe with, you know that you're not the same. But somehow those people are going to tell you that you're the same. So that's Europeans coming to me, coming into my land, and telling me that I'm the same as them, even though they're the ones who need to steal everything from me and then lie about it. And I don't need anything from them. I'm happy alone. Projection being perception. So, again, I'm just giving you the perspective of Mercury before we get into here, because this is all very important, that I let you know that Mercury as a simulation does not support genocide, slavery, or any of the business practices that Masonic Jews have had to engage in to steal all of this land from indigenous peoples and make their European banking system matter as much as it does. So they're weaponizing my energy, and it's now my responsibility to talk about it, regardless of how you feel. It doesn't matter how you feel about what I'm saying. I am clearly giving you the historical facts and truths as to why anyone on planet Earth is upholding Wednesday as the middle of the week. So now you understand where I'm coming from. If you didn't understand already, right? But I have to get these reps in, because the point is I've come in so many angles that I'm speaking for a lot of messengers of Mercury. I'm building upon a lot of past lives, right? That's why we can see that Mercury Day is Woden Day, Hermes Day, and Tehuti Day. And then Hermes and Tehuti come together into Quetzalcoatl. And then Zarathustra is over here as a whole magician, being Ahura Mazda. And Enoch is over here fasting to become Metatron. It's a lot of different angles of Chase's space, communicating into different universes at different points in time. So, without further ado, let's see what's up with the etymology nerds' information about Woden's Day. The orthography of the word Wednesday has befuddled generations of English speakers. Well, I just cleared it all up. Hopefully you're not befuddled anymore, bro. While many know that it was named after Odin, the Norse king god with specialties in war and wisdom, they still don't understand how that connects to the actual word. Turns out that an archaic way of writing the name Odin was Woden, and Wednesday is a corruption of Woden's Day. So Wednesday, Woden's Day. Although it was spelled Wodensdag in Old English and before. In these Germanic, pronunciation is fun, bro. In these Germanic variants, Woden was actually sort of a combo god of Odin and Mercury. Okay, so again, I just explained to you the actual perspective as Chase of where Odin is coming from, because this is my space. I can't run away from myself. So now when you go onto the internet and you see like, oh, well, they related Odin with Mercury, they're getting you, like, they had to steal the truth. The truth is as clear as I just laid out. But because they don't want you to know about your past lives, they don't want you to know about your Spider-Man multi-dimensional quality, they're going to fragment the knowledge that they stole and teach it to you like, oh, ancient civilizations connected Hermes with Thoth. They connected to Odin and they connected it to Mercury, and it was just humans connecting random ideas that aren't really real, but we're just using them to make money right now and capture your attention. It's so fucked up. I've already just clearly explained it for you though. The space that built Mercury is a space that has manifested its mind as Odin, just like it's manifested its mind as Tehuti and Hermes, all three different bodies, because these are all three different points in time. The whole wisdom of Spider-Man is knowing that your soul connects every body that you ever experience. But your soul has to create a body if it's going to experience the universe with other bodies. If you would like to learn more, all right, join our online courses and chase your genes, okay? Because we go really hard with all this. It's just I like to give out so much for free because that's how trees grow. That's what I do with symmetry. I'm freely giving with my fruit. I low-key don't know another way. It's just that I understand in this world, people don't know how to value information if they don't pay for it. So I specifically don't share very awesome things because I know that people wouldn't even really be able to appreciate the information I'm giving if they don't pay for it. So if you appreciate the information I'm giving to you for free, then you would definitely appreciate the information that you pay for. Absolutely. That's the whole point of money here, colonizing how we value things. Okay, so we just got to work with it. We got to work with it. We got to work with it. The fact is, money only matters because Mason stole everything from Mercury. Their money is Odin. Their money is Hermes. That's why Hermes is a god of currency. Their money is Metatron. That's why he's the voice of God. Their money is Zarathustra. That's why they made up Jesus from Zoroastrian teachings and Superman from Zoroastrian teachings. Their money is made up from everything that they stole from Mercury. It's really frustrating to me having to deal with this because this is personal. This is personal for me because I create my energy out of my person and I create energy to feel like a person. So if you're going to steal my energy, you're going to steal my personality and say that I am not me. That's infinitely frustrating, isn't it? Like, how is that not infinitely frustrating? Right. So this world is super fucked up in the projection being perception and the white supremacist slavery religion justification system that's going on. And again, that's why I'm here talking like this, okay? Because this is what my spirit wants me to do. It's just so frustrating how evil they are and like how much they've stolen from me. The point is, we've let them steal everything here. This is just a universe. There's infinite universes. I have my own stuff. No one has stolen something from me that I didn't let them steal because I know that this body and this stuff out here is technically not for me. I'm creating everything in this universe for spaces outside of myself to build and connect upon. That's why the Jews and Masons can put my pyramid on the back of their dollar bill and then say, "In God we trust," and then say that no one is God except their imagination, but no one knows how nature works and they're going to destroy the environment under ignorance. But if anyone knows, it's them because they have the money. They're just so evil. This is a weird circumstance that we're in. But the only reason it works is because they're riding off of my energy. They're riding off of my currency. They're riding off of my vibration. And the sooner I realize that, the sooner I can take my power back and change the world from the inside out, right? The world looks super fucking fucked up and crazy. But if I can change the way I act from the inside out, then that's going to permeate throughout the world. And this is why your consciousness, your soul even, really, two different things, water and air. But these are your most valuable commodities. Your most valuable resources is how you spend your time communicating. If I wasn't spending my time communicating to build this video, then no one who's watching this video would be able to learn from it or ever see it. And then no one would be able to make the connections that come from watching this video. See, like, and whatever connections are being made, I don't know, but I do know that by connecting with myself in a certain way, I'm creating the opportunity for you to connect with yourself based on what I'm talking about. And then this is where you can learn about the world you're in. And now you can make your own connections. And then you can conduct your own business. And this is how we expand the universe forever in all ways, right? This is what we do, guys. So people should just naturally know this. This is how you're an infinite individual. It's so weird to me to create a body, to be aware of your body, and then to look for God outside of yourself, and to keep looking for proof of God outside of yourself. It's like, why do you hate your space that much? Like, why do you hate your space so much that you need to create a structure where you're going to run away from your space into other people's spaces? And now when you come into my space, you're going to tell me that I'm not the creator of my own space because you don't want to take responsibility for creating your own space. This is literally why, this is how Europeans are in the vibration to say that we as indigenous individuals did not create the new world that they need to colonize from their old world. But they're going to use their ideas from their old world to say that we didn't create our new world. And now they're destroying America. And now they're destroying this whole world. They're destroying this whole simulation while saying that none of us created it. And now their solution is what? To destroy Earth and go to Mars to make it look like Wall-E. Their solution to causing global crises, to spreading genocide, is to destroy the environment and go to a different planet where humans cannot breathe and humans are not equipped to live. And they've somehow trained white culture to think that this is smart. Wow. Whoo! That's crazy. Yo, there are no words for how beyond insane it is to think that people view this system as smart. Whatever. In these Germanic variants, Woden was actually a sort of combo god of Odin and Mercury. Okay, so the whole point is that Odin is from Mercury. Mercury is one space separate from all other spaces, an individual simulation that gets called away to manifest itself into universes that need help stabilizing their spaces. And then this is where Mercury works with Atlantis. So then Atlantis is like the universe that brings water to the simulation of Mercury. And then the simulation of Mercury is the Earth that stabilizes all the chaos of Atlantis. And then this is how Earth and water work together to create flesh. And now Anubis and I can use our Earth and water to go out in the middle of space and keep building new simulations where spirits can derive flesh out of. And they can learn how to bend their own elements based on how we bend ours. That's how this place was made. Some weird pagan hybrid. Right. So this is why I just went on that whole thing about humans and the way that they sell this information. Because they know the truth, but then when they don't want you to know the truth, but they want to use the truth against you, now they're going to sell this information to you like, oh, Odin was actually a combo god. Woden was a combo god of Odin and Mercury. What a weird pagan hybrid. And then they come up with all these new terms so that they can get you lost in their new definition of how to view the past. So that now you don't know where things came from. All you know is how to think like a Mason. How to think like a white supremacist. And now everyone's justifying slavery and genocide. It's so sad. So yeah, Odin and Mercury, not a hybrid. People back in the day objectively knew spaciously that Odin, Hermes, and Tehuti are all aspects of one space communicating itself at different points in time. And then this is the whole point of Mercury as Wednesday also being Tehuti Day and Hermes Day and Odin Day, because they knew this. It's just in the modern world, they sell it to you like it's not that, because they don't want you to be smart, basically. They don't want you to be intelligent. This system really doesn't. The government does not. Read up on it for more information. I'm not too sure about specifics. Woden's Deg comes from the Proto-Germanic reconstruction Wodan's Dagas. Dagas. Wodanas Dagas. That's fun. Wodanas Dagas. A calque of Latin Dies Mercurii, a holiday celebrating the messenger god. Wodanus meant raging. Okay, so right here again, Mercury and Wodanus. Mercury and Odin, same space, just different terms to describe different aspects of that space. Wodanus meant raging and comes from Proto-Indo-European wet, denoting excitement. Dagas, meanwhile, comes from P-Deg, meaning burn. Raging burn. I mean, the whole point of Odin being the god of war is like the god of frenzy. So it's like the god of fire, basically. I'm showing you how passionate fire can be. But then when you know how to structure your fire, this is where your fire becomes productive. And that's just us going from fire, water, air. And now we can create blood that allows us to transform with families of other individuals. So now we're on dictionary.com. All right, just checking out who is Wednesday named for. Okay, this is me making connections so that I can build a structure out of getting my space all correlated properly. And document the internet based on where it is, because there's so much truth on the internet, but no one really knows how to connect these ideas, because that's the point. That's everything I'm saying here. The truth has been stolen and weaponized to sell you lies. So now the lies is all the separation that is used to sever how the truth was connected to other truths. So, you know, Hermes, yeah, real person. Tehuti, real person. But then the people who taught you these ideas and want to make money off of them rely on lying to you by making you believe that they weren't actually the same, or by selling you them in the ways that they want, basically. This is the whole point of whitewashing, or just stealing anything. If you see that something in the universe is already working, then you can take that thing and twist it into your own version so that you can ride that vibrational frequency. And this is how the Judeo-Masonic government has made anything that works, by observing how indigenous peoples work and what we build, and then figuring out how to steal it so that they can use it against us. So again, that's why the Egyptian pyramids are on the back of a dollar bill. That's why they're obsessed with teaching us, using Zoroastrianism to teach us that we are children of God, then in the same breath saying, but there's only one true child of God, and all of us as children of God need to worship the one true child of God. If you're spiritually intelligent, that doesn't make sense. If you're spiritually, hermetically in tune with your heaven, you can't get caught by that. But if you feel like you're lost in hell and like you need to go to heaven because you're separate from your space, then that's going to make sense to you somehow. You're going to be like, okay, I am a child of God, but there is only one true child of God. So I, as a child of God, need to sacrifice myself to that child of God and worship that government that killed him. And anyone who doesn't do what I'm doing is evil in my life now. This is how they use religion to justify warfare. They use religion to spread war, but they act like that religion is love, when really you hate yourself so much, you love to consume other people. But that's not real love. If you hate yourself, and if you don't like spending time with yourself, so now you're going to consume other people's time, that's not love. That's making misery your company. Now we see why TikTok is deleting so many people's accounts. I've had my accounts deleted from working super hard, building them up through fasting. I know a lot of people have had their accounts deleted. It's all about misery needing company. They know that with them being miserable, they're obsessed with amassing all of our information through the internet. And then they know that if they train you to be miserable, you're going to want to keep connecting to the internet no matter how much abuse they put you through. So now they can take down your account with 200,000 followers even. They can take down your account with 500,000 followers. Because you are already attached to their app, they know that they're going to make more money out of you. And this is what they said in Matrix 4, I think. It was like, that was some monologue that Neil Patrick Harris gave as the rapist, the therapist in the Matrix. It's so weird that they made it exactly that word. They're just saying exactly what they do. Yeah, that was the therapist, the rapist in the Matrix, Neil Patrick Harris, saying, oh, well, the Matrix realized that if we abuse you and anger you and steal your energy, you just produce more. That was literally them saying that in Matrix 4, after they made the point earlier in Matrix 4 that they were going to make a fourth movie, whether Keanu joined or not, because it's all about them making money. And the only reason Masons enjoy making money is because they are miserable alone. So this is why they don't care about having real creativity. They just want to consume your time and your attention. So money doesn't matter if you're not spending your time to work for it at all. Money doesn't matter to you if you're not spending your time to work for it. So this is why Masons, if they're going to make money, they need to make you work for them. So again, slavery. They're obsessed with slavery. This is why Spider-Man is a slave. This is why all the superheroes in the Marvel universe are basically slaves to the Masonic matrix. It's just then that, yeah, there are tiers based on if you're a super high-level Mason or if you're a common pedestrian, right? And the whole point of being a Mason is that you have money to do what you want. We see that legally. If you have money, you can go kill whoever you want. We're at this point in 2022 where every human in America knows if you have money, you can get away with any crime you want. So the justice system is literally based off of the desires of the Europeans who invented these numbers to steal the land from indigenous individuals. If there was real justice in this country, America would have never been built. It would have stayed indigenous. So the whole point is justice is really just us. And then just us is just the US. And that's Jews in their own hermetic world saying just us. All of our justice is just us. And now you can see why slavery is a thing. Why they spread so much horrible atrocities through religion and say that it's okay. It's this energy. This is their just us system. Objectively, this is the Jewish just us system. They're in their Sith Lord havens, like it's just us. And then they're manipulating the whole world through these algorithms now, right? Through these fucking TV screens, through the radio, through waves, through energy waves, because that's the whole point of this technology. That's the whole point, to transfer energy waves, because they stole all this wisdom from Mercury. Again, they're trying to do what nature is already doing in a technological standpoint. So now this is where I, as Mercury, want you to know that your body is your first cell phone. You feel me? Your body is what you can use to call your ancestors. You feel me? You can use your mental Merkaba to catch a line on your soul. Your soul is connected to everybody that matters to you. You can catch a vibe in your soul and communicate with spaces, like a game of telephone, right? You know when kids do the telephone game and they have the string with the cup, but interdimensionally. So this is what Masons are replicating, that we're already doing in the astral realm, that Mercury's already doing in the astral realm. They're replicating it down here because they can't do it for themselves. And two, if they want to make money for themselves, then they need to teach you that you also can't do it for yourself. So this is why the Masons stole everything from the Library of Alexandria. They stole all of my emerald tablets. They stole everything from Mercury, and they weaponized my wisdom against you so that now you believe not that your mind builds the body, but that your body builds the mind. And this is how they trap you in this simulation. This is how they've trapped everyone here, by teaching all of us that our body built our minds, that our earth made our air, when that's scientifically not how anything in existence works. It's so messed up. They're so evil. They're so evil. All right. In fact, the name Wednesday actually derives from two mighty but distinct gods. See, so even here, they're saying two distinct gods, which is fair because this is me. This is Metatron, right? Let's take the ego out of it, because I get people can be like, oh, Chase, you have ego. Ooh. All right, well, when I say me, don't relate it to me as Chase. Just translate it as Mercury and Metatron. They both start with M-E. They're both about me. Mason stole this shit from me. Objectively, historically, spiritually, completely facts, because everything that the Masons have taken is taken from Metatron and Mercury, and all of the many messages that Metatron sends through Mercury. The M-E, messengers, the messengers of Mercury, the messengers of Metatron's Mercury. M-E, 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 me. See, I can't avoid talking about it because that's why I was called here as Chase. So I'm not even in my ego about this because I don't want to be here. I'm in my soul. This is soul. I'm supposedly needed here. So because I'm needed here, I'm here. Because I'm needed here, I'm here. I was not born here because I want to be here. I love being alone. What the fuck? I do not want to be here. I would much rather be in my own space. Sadly, I've been forced to live 25 whole years of being a slave to a Jewish Masonic system that's teaching me that I'm not a space and that I did not choose to be born here. Also, white people can make money making me be lack my own consent. It's really messed up. This is horrible. I, as Chase, would not voluntarily choose to put myself in this circumstance. So this is where my spirit with the higher perspective is like, yeah, don't worry. I'm going to put you in this circumstance because you're supposed to feel weak. So now this is where me as Chase, as Odin, am going to let you know that your body is the weakest version of you. Like, this is where Masons have everyone completely fucked up. Completely fucked up. The moment you believe that your body made your mind is as weak as your body, if not weaker. And then this is where they now get to use Marvel and sell all of us on what superheroes are. Like, oh, see, look, he can do more things with his mind because everyone's mind's limited to the body. If you knew that your space had to make a mind before it built a body, then you would know that you were infinite before you became finite. This is what every messenger of Mercury is in. There's no messenger of Mercury. There's no me from Mercury. There's no me from Metatron that created light and then thought it was that light. But that's all Masons do. That's all the people who built religions out of Metatron's wisdom do. Metatron is here right now telling you that you are a space creating light so that you can energetically vibrate with spaces outside of yourself. Now you can realize what matters to you. Again, that's my whole website. But then everyone who listens to me, they're going to make their own version of religion where they're like, but actually, you're a child of Yahweh, or you're a child of Husa, or you're a child of Umagaba, or you're a child of Zimap, or you're a child of Shuki Babubu. You know, just anything. And then people just project their ego onto you. Okay, so we learn a lot from letting people project their egos onto us. This is why we as indigenous individuals, as Quetzalcoatl, I as Spider-Man, okay, Quetzalcoatl, Odin, same space, symmetry, Spider-Man. This is why we set up America so that Jews and Masons could show us how they conduct business. How do you want white people to be manifested into the world? How do you want to manifest your destiny as white people? Show us how you operate so that we can work with you. Because we wanted to work with them. We don't want them to be evil. They just choose to rape, murder, and lie about it and make that a profitable business model. Because they hate being alone. Because misery needs company. I have no better words. I have no better words. No better words. Because there's no reason, if you were not miserable internally, that you would go to the lengths to hurt other people like this. So what they see in Odin is a projection of their desire to go to war. Odin is not about encouraging war. I encourage peace. That's how I go to war on war. Okay, that's how Chase goes to war on war. Hermes, Tehuti, all the aspects of Odin. None of them actually support war. It's just when you need to go to war on war, then you're going to have to encourage peace. And this is, again, where we get into teaching, right? So I, as Symmetry, as a superhero, I'm not going to be Masonic thinking that I can save you from problems that you created. You're just going to create those problems for me and pull them into my world, and I'm going to get pulled into your stuff, and you're not going to heal. I'm an actual healer. All right, there's infinite fake healers out here. I'm an actual healer. So I'm actually going to teach you how to raise your vibration in a way that heals your body from the inside out so that you never have to rely on anyone outside of yourself. That's real wisdom. That's the real indigenous perspective of knowing that you were a space before you built a mind and then made a body out of that mind. That's the whole point. You know that you are nothing before your light. When you believe that you are the body, you'll never be lighter than the weight and stuff that you're stuck in. Your mind won't be able to fly to another universe. You won't be able to learn more about yourself. You won't get into your multiverse bag with that. So, again, I just want you to be free. Straight up. In Romance languages, the name is derived from Roman god Mercury. For example, Wednesday is Mercredi in French and Mercury in Romanian. Romanian. All right, cool. The gods Woden, also known as Odin, and Mercury have been associated since Scandinavian and Roman cultures crossed paths. See, so again, they are teaching you things in reverse. They're teaching you like individual humans, random humans, had their own gods that they worship. And then when they came together, they learned how to connect their gods and make up new gods. When in reality, these are the Masons and Jews who've stolen all the knowledge from the libraries that they've burned down, weaponizing the truth to sell you on lies that will make them more money in the long term. Under Woden's supervision, the earth and sky were created from the dead body of a giant named Ymir. Woden also created the first man and woman from an ash tree and an alder. Different universe, not this universe. So again, this is right here. We're talking about how we create universes. So all universes, again, this is in Chase Your Genes. It's in Symmetry. All right, you can go to either of my websites. The point is you knowing how universes are created. So now you can see how every creation story would be true in its own universe. The nuance is how much do you believe it and how realistically has it trickled into and connected to this reality. And that's where we get relatability, right? If it's not relatable, it doesn't really exist. You can't really build upon it. As if fashioning the human race was not enough, Woden also established the laws of the universe. Okay, so right there again, building a universe, you naturally create the laws that dictate the universe. So we're just talking about the number 8. Each universe is a number 8. All right, you got fire and water coming together in a weight, and now this air can actually become a weight. So when spirits wait, W-A-I-T, in their fire and water, they create weight that becomes air and earth. That matters. So waiting and then waiting. Wait, W-A-I-T, that's the internal. Then the external, W-E-I-G-H-T. That's that air and earth. So it's all symmetry. I'm explaining it to you as symmetry, because again, there's so many details to creation that we're gonna keep it relatable. So Spider-Man. All right, people get Marvel. People get Spider-Man. People get the number system. I mean, everything's happening. It's fine. I don't have to overthink too much, but I do overthink. I think a lot. So balance. Haha. I need Mercury. Okay, I need myself. So I'm doing this for myself. I need myself. It makes no sense for me to be convinced by someone else who is lost in knowledge that was stolen from me that I'm not me, and I need to relate with them and support them as not being me. Again, I'm just so much slavery here. Mercury was the messenger to the gods, along with being the patron of science, the arts, travelers, and athletes. So that's, again, Mercury as an interdimensional civilization, simulation. This is how I, as the one man, the one space named Chase that created Mercury, can come to other simulations in many forms to talk about how the mind builds the body. And the mind builds the body in many ways. So that really looks like all art. That's why I'm a whole artist, just all art. You're not going to limit how my mind communicates through the body. And then this is where you see that in Spider-Man, right? You see that Spider-Man literally built his costume because he's Quetzalcoatl, because they just weaponized my energy. The whole point is this is the Renaissance man. To be a Renaissance man is to be a Mercurian man. To be a Mercurian man means to know that your mind can actually communicate through infinite angles, because your space was infinite before it made a mind to communicate. So now your mind can infinitely expand. Your mind can do anything if you use your ego and your soul to focus on that and to make it relatable. And then that's the 8. And there we go, with you creating your own universe where you can relate and resonate with your own vibration. It's beautiful, and this is what we all do naturally. It's just they want you to worship the idea of creating so hard when it should be basic. Like, nothing would exist if we didn't create it. You should not be worshiping the idea of creating. You're creating energy right now to be able to understand me. If you don't know that that's true, then it's because someone else taught you that you're not creative. And now they're going to use your creative ability to make you create for them. And then this is where they're going to consume your creations, while again saying you're not even the creator of your own creations. And if you follow a system that makes you feel like that or teaches you to operate in that way, you're just going to die sad because you didn't actually build anything for yourself. You let all of your time and your energy get sucked by a black hole that doesn't even appreciate your light. It needs your light, right? But it doesn't appreciate it. That's this Masonic government. They need everyone working for them, but they don't appreciate you guys working for them. They need all these Amazon employees. They need trashmen, but they don't appreciate trashmen and Amazon employees. They need teachers, right? But they don't appreciate teachers. They appreciate actors because actors lie and actors trap your attention in a bunch of very stupid drama that they can use to program you further, to think that this is how humans are supposed to socialize. Now people see Will Smith slap Chris Rock and they think, oh, this is how adults are supposed to socialize. What? They see Kim Kardashian leave her straight up the father of her multiple children to go be with a boy like my age. What? Like, this is how they want people to act. I think Pete Davidson might be older than me. Now I'm about to take a side detour real quick. Okay, fine. He's older than me. But he's in my age bracket, right? He's 3 years older than me. The point is, chaos. Celebrities encourage chaos. And celebrities are put up there by the government. They're paid the most. Celebrities are paid way more than teachers to teach you how to be chaotic. To teach you that chaos is more normal than peace. And now they can program you to do what they want, basically. Whereas they know knowledge is power, right? So if they taught you the knowledge that I'm teaching you now, if they taught you the knowledge that they specifically went out of their way to steal from indigenous individuals and native civilizations, then you would not feel like you need to support how they spread genocide and warfare. Because you would have power. And then you would have knowledge of yourself, which is what I'm giving you right now as Mercury. You are a space that chases the desire to feel like something. So you created energy that matters to you. And that's what this body is. And this body is always reacting to you creating energy that matters to you. That's you always expanding your mind through a structure that allows you to relate with other minds. So we're talking about fire, water, air, earth. And then boom, you get your blood, you get your transformation. Now you have family, right? Now whoever you consider blood matters to you. And it was only possible because you're all creating energy inside the same environment and choosing to relate with the same things at the same time and feel like this is a relationship that's productive, basically, because all of us coming from individual spaces, we all have our own goals. So this is where we're always figuring out what relationships make sense for our goals. And the ultimate goal that everyone has on a biological level is to have a family. So and this is where people are always trying to have a family, right? That's all religions. Again, I'm talking about just basic spirituality before people want to twist it into a government or a religion. And this is why individuality is important. How dare you, as one family, say that my family was created by your imagination when you have to steal my fucking planetary system to make your business work? I, as Mercury, am speaking directly to Masons and their religious complex right now. How dare you? And then everyone can learn from this real quick, like, oh shit, well, that makes no sense. It makes no sense. Atlantis as a family is way older than anything that Jews and Masons are imagining. But because they want to consume everything that my family has produced, they, as a white supremacist family, have decided that we are all created by their one man. And that's why they're going to spread genocide and warfare everywhere. And they're justified in it. We clearly don't fuck with that. But Atlantis had to send me down here to now be this poor little black boy named Chase going through a school system so that I can empathize and relate with just how deep the slavery is and how hard this white supremacist system is going in making money off of spreading misery and forcing everyone to uphold systems that are causing climate change objectively, destroying our environment objectively. That's not smart. That's not smart. Mercury does not support this, but I've been forced to hold it together esoterically because they're weaponizing my energy. And now I'm here. They summoned me. Huzzah. Fuck. It's annoying. But I was, all right, they summoned me and I was called here, whatever. The point is, climate change is only going to get worse if people do not understand everything that I just shared in this video and everything that I'm sharing on my websites, objectively. So, today he's one of the most widely recognized gods. Usually he's depicted wearing winged helmet and sandals, because I fly through space and time. Absolutely. And the wings represent your mind. So each universe is a separate body of water. I have my own space. I have my own universe. Atlantis is its own universe. When other universes call me away from Atlantis, that's where I can use my mind to fly into that universe and share my soul. And now I'm going to build a body that lets my ego be aware of a space outside of my own. And now, boom, it's lit. How did Wednesday become hump day? That's hilarious. How did Wednesday become hump day? Starting around 1965, Wednesday began being referred to as a hump day, smack dab in the middle of the traditional work week. So right here, right, the whole point is work, to make you work. So these Masons teach you, they teach all of us that we are light in energy so that they can weaponize Mercury and they can weaponize the work week against us. And now we're supposed to work weekly. Now we're weak. We're weak workers, but they want us to be weak because that's how they stop us from working for ourselves. If we were strong workers, we wouldn't be serving a system that's spreading genocide and destroying the environment and poisoning our bodies with fucked up food and fucked up pharmaceutical medication. We wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, hilarious. All right, cool. And then we've got one more. All right, this is theguardian.com. Okay, so we got a three for in this episode. Just correlating how hard Wednesday is Woden's day. Okay, because also, I mean, for internet investigations, the point of this series is for me to show you just how real the spirituality of Mercury is and how real spirituality is in general, because space builds structures so that it can relate with other spaces. Now, the moment you as a space get lost in your structure, this is where you get lost in all the details, and people can weaponize and use any creations that were made before you against you. There's some dude on TikTok who said that he was taught by Odin. He said that he's a student of Odin. He had his hand all up at the screen like, I'm giving you Reiki energy. I'm a student of Odin. It was crazy. Like, it was like my spirit brought me there just to send him the message. Oh, how do you know you're working with Odin? He blocked me. Like, that's not a student of Odin. Any student of Odin would invite not only a challenge, but just a basic question. Like, if you're going to block someone for asking a basic question, how do you know you work with Odin? I also said, did you know that Odin, Hermes, and Tehuti are the same space? I also said that. I said two things. He blocked me. So that showed me that this Reiki guy on TikTok, he doesn't actually give a fuck about the truth or using the energy of Odin to actually heal you. It's simply yet another demon who is riding off of a frequency, an idea that they didn't create, but it makes them feel better about themselves. And it makes them feel better about the space that they're in. And this is just, again, how everyone's been taught to act, seemingly. Everyone's been taught to believe that they are light, because that's really what it comes down to. This Reiki person was all like, I have light codes that are downloading through my brain and I channel the energy. But all of that does not mean shit when you know that you, a space like Chase, are creating your own energy to relate with other forms of energy. You don't even want other people's energy. When you're coming at it from a Hermes, Odin, Tehuti perspective, what the fuck would you do with anyone else's energy when you have your own energy? Makes no sense. So now literally you would have to put yourself in a circumstance where you create your own energy just so someone else can use their energy to tell you that you did not create your own energy. And that would, again, make no sense to you unless you did not want to take responsibility for your power. Literally, I cannot avoid this Spider-Man shit. Like, I don't want to be here. I'm needed here. That's why I'm talking to you like this. That's why I'm doing these videos, talking about power and responsibility, fire and water, and just basic ass creation. Because the fact that people are not taking responsibility for their creative power means that this world is just going to keep getting fucked up. That's what these religions do. These religions fuck everyone up by making you worship genocide, worship war, worship not being able to empathize with individuals outside of yourself. So weird. So it's so weird. It's like actually weird. So hey, all right. Why Wednesday? The days of the week have a convoluted religious heritage. I've already explained all of that, but let's see what they say, right? The Romans may have got the ball rolling with a 7-day week adopted by the early church, but weekday names in English owe as much to Anglo-Saxon gods. So again, their whole idea of gods is stolen from the messengers of Mercury communicating at different times. Odin does not support warfare. Odin goes to war on war. This is where Odin, as a teacher, brings peace. But then if he has to do that in a way that's fiery, like perhaps I'm doing a little bit of right now, then cool, that's necessary. That's how fire actually works. Instead of fire not working, right? If fire doesn't work, it's not going to transform anything in a way that's relatable or sustainable. But when fire works, you know how to alchemize your elements into something that allows you to express your passions, be an individual, and then gain integrity and authenticity. That's like real passion. That's real fire. And that's only truly possible when you know that you're creative. The origins of our days of the week lie with the Romans. The Romans named their days of the week after the planets, which in turn were named after the Roman gods. Dies Solis, the day of the sun. Dies Lunae, moon. Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. Cool. When the Germanic, whatever, speaking peoples of Western Europe adopted the 7-day week, which was probably in the early centuries of the Christian era, they named their days after those of their own gods who were closest in attributes and character to the Roman deities. It was one of these peoples, the Anglo-Saxons, that brought their gods and language, what would become English, to the British Isles during the 5th and 6th centuries AD. In English, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are named for Saturn, the Sun, and the Moon respectively, following the Latin. The remaining 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, are named for gods that the Anglo-Saxons probably worshipped before they migrated to England, and during that short time before they converted to Christianity after that. Tuesday is named for the god Tew, whom relatively little is known. Tew was probably associated with warfare, just like the Roman god Mars. Wednesday is named for the god Woden, who is paralleled with the Roman god Mercury, probably because both gods shared attributes of eloquence, the ability to travel, and the guardianship of the dead. So again, getting you lost in lies, Mercury and Woden are objectively the same space. That's why they're known for being the same, because it's the same psychopomp. The same psychopomp being a guardian of the dead. Just 2 different points in time and doing it in different ways so that we can relate in different atmospheres. Thursday is Thunor's Day, or to give the word its old English form, Thursday, the day of thunder, my son. This is beside the Latin dies ovis, the day of love or Jupiter. Both of these gods are associated with thunder in their respective mythologies. You may recognize a similarity here with the name of the famous Norse god Thor. This may be more than coincidence, maybe. Do you really think Wednesday is Woden and then Thursday is Thor, not intentionally? Like, it's just so funny how they have to take the basic knowledge just so that they can act like it might be smarter to make connections that were already there if they weren't lying to you. It's so weird. This is just how they operate. The only way they can seem smart is by making you dumber than them so that they can feed you fake intelligence. And now everyone's destroying the environment because no one knows how nature works. So silly. Vikings arrived in England in the 9th century, bringing their own very similar gods with them. Anglo-Saxons were already Christian by this time, but may have recognized a similarity between the name of their ancestors' deity, Thunor, and Norse god. We don't know, but the word Thor does appear in written text from the period. Friday is the only weekday name for a female dog, Frigg, who is hardly mentioned anywhere else in early English. The name does appear, however, as a common noun meaning love and affection in poetry. That is why Frigg was chosen to pair with the Roman deity Venus, who is likewise associated with love and sex, and was commemorated in the Latin name for Friday, of gods and weekdays. The concept of the week, that is, a cycle of 7 numbered or named days, with one of them, usually Sunday or Monday, fixed as the first, was originally probably associated with the Jewish calendar. See again, this is them trying to seem like they're the origins, when the Jews objectively stole everything from the indigenous individuals that they conquered and stole from in general. And when I say conquered, yeah, I mean conquered through violence and warfare, but also because we left. So that's the point as well. Understand that indigenous individuals left and were expanding the universe and let this place get consumed by people who want to appear like they were the ancient cultures that they don't understand anything about. So now they're going to say that as the Jews, everything came from them. Even though Metatron is older than Yahweh and they had to learn how the mind works from Metatron, they're then going to make up Yahweh or work with Yahweh, whatever, work with Yahweh. They're going to work with this spirit of Yahweh because the point of Yahweh is that he's giving them the power and giving them the justification to steal everything outside themselves. So when I say they make up Yahweh, they make up his body. Like Yahweh would not exist if Yahweh could not convince all these followers that they're justified in spreading genocide and that they're justified in lying and that they're justified in being evil overall. So this is why spirits need structures. God needs humans. Okay? So again, they stole all this from indigenous individuals, from Zoroastrianism specifically. So Zarathustra is the man. Ahura Mazda, he is the one that brought the 7 weekdays to Earth. It was just in the Jews who commandeered it, and they commandeered everything else, and they're using everything for themselves. That's what they're doing. In early Christianity, hold up, this sentence. This was complicated by the fact that early medieval Europe inherited its idea of the week from Imperial Rome via the Christian church. Again, all stolen from indigenous peoples, but notice how they don't want to give any credit to indigenous individuals. They don't want to give any credit to Persia or Zoroastrianism. They want to say that it was all different types of white people and their own section of history, because that's the point of them stealing everything and lying about it. In early Christianity, the reckoning of time was crucial to the proper celebration of the church's feast days and holidays, especially the variable feast of Easter. We find day names similar to English in related European languages, like Dutch, German, and all the Scandinavian or Norse languages. Gods with comparable names like Tyr, Othin, Thor, and Frigg were certainly known to the Scandinavians and gave their names to weekdays in Scandinavian languages. The Latin names for the days of the week and the Roman gods for which they were named still live on in all the European Romance languages, like French, Spanish, and Italian. Think of French lundi, mardi, mercredi, Judy, and vendredi, for example, and you will find the Latin Luna, Mars, Mercurius, Ovis, and Venus hidden behind them. Right. Bet. This is it for Woden's Day. All right, this went longer than I expected, but I did just cover 3 different websites. So, peace out. Much love to you. I'll catch you in the next episode. If you like everything you learned here, then visit chaserjeans.com as we take off and fly away with our Merkabas. That's the whole point. Okay, you can go to chaserjeans.com, learn how your mind is a Merkaba, learn how you take flight every time you become aware of something outside of your space, and now you can communicate in ever more conscious ways. It's lit. It's exciting. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be me. It's just really frustrating dealing with spiritual warfare. But hey, much love to everybody. I wouldn't be here if I did not love you. That's objectively true.